In speaking to people here on the app, I've heard a number of times that there was often one person early on in someone's life who made a difference, who saw something in them that they may not have even seen in themselves, had an impact. Teachers, relatives, next door neighbors, it could really be anybody, but someone who changed their lives forever. This is a chance for guests to thank those people publicly. This is That One Voice.
No one makes their career themselves. Your career is made by the people who help you along the way. And you're very lucky when you come across those people. And I've been very lucky. I've come across several of them who have dramatically changed the course of my life, and all of them for the better. And here they are in a chronological list. First off, being Father John Prevet, the head of the television facility at the University of Santa Clara, who, through his remarkable ability to inspire and amuse, pulled me out of the doldrums of literature and philosophy and into the world of television producing and directing. And his confidence, his guidance, the trust that he put in the students who were part of that course was remarkable, and set me up to do everything else I've done in my career. So I cannot thank him enough. The next after Father John is Yvonne Simpson. Now, she was the booker at CBS News in London, who, despite my obvious inability to do a professional job as a soundman, kept booking me and bringing me in until there was no choice due to an international incident that they had to let me go. But she didn't ever forget me. And when the necessity arose for a cameraman, she tracked me down and got me into CBS as a freelance cameraman, and again, kept booking me. And I'll be forever grateful for that. She also introduced me to Nick Follows. Now, Nick and I were a team for many, many years, and still are to this day. And we learnt together how to be news people, and had the most amazing and wonderful adventures. And, you know, he was always a better photographer than I was, and always will be, but very gracious and never really rubbed it in too much. And you know, following Nick, I had a partnership with a great news cameraman called Brian Kelly, who, you know, was a role model for me. And I so wanted to be him. And I still kind of do. And, you know, we've had a lasting friendship ever since. And after Nick was very, very sadly wounded and could no longer work as a sound man, another chap, Andy Cottam, came along. And Andy, which we went through news and into documentaries together. And what a great man. Knew an awful more about lighting than I did, but was gracious enough to let me make all the mistakes, and then would come and fix them. And internally grateful. Now, transitioning from one thing to another, you know, news to documentaries took about 6 months without work. When I wanted to go into the field of drama, I was stymied on every side. There's, you know, everywhere I went, they didn't want to know, not even children's television. And one of the lowest points of my life was getting turned down by The Bill. Now, if you're English, you know what The Bill is. It's an episodic TV program about police officers, which is generally lit by a single 2K bounced into the ceiling, and not even The Bill wanted to know me. And I was at a very low level, and was fortunate enough to find a cinematography course. Up to that point, I wasn't even sure what cinematography was, and certainly wasn't a cinematographer. I was a lighting cameraman. And it was being given in Rockport, Maine at the International Film and Television School. And it was being run by one of England's preeminent cinematographers, Billy William. And Billy, in 1 week, again changed my life. By the end of the practical week with him, I knew I wanted to be a cinematographer. And up to that point, like I said, I wasn't even quite sure what a cinematographer was. And he put together, and he's such a great teacher, he joined all the dots together about the things that you need to understand not just from a technical point of view, but also from an aesthetic point of view, to be a cinematographer. And based on that 1 week, I adjusted my life quite dramatically and pushed as hard as I could to get into drama. And fortunately, I was given that opportunity by a great director, one of England's greatest directors, Michael Winterbottom, who was looking for a documentary cameraman to make a film called Wonderland, which became my first feature film. Despite the fact that the tests we shot were the worst rushes that I have ever produced in my life, he luckily saw beyond that and gave me the opportunity to shoot Wonderland, which was the perfect transition from documentary into drama. And he and the production team were so gracious and so forgiving of my lack of knowledge, and just such a wonderful people that, again, when I finished that film, that's all I ever wanted to do from that point on, was to make films. And that opened the door that meant that I could do that. And, you know, I did some television and bits and bobs. And also on the back of Wonderland, I met Steve McQueen. And Steve McQueen has, again, been one of those people who has changed my life and changed it dramatically in so many different ways, as you know, as a person, as a friend, as a cinematographer, as an operator, as a collaborator. In every way, my life has been bettered and my skills have been multiplied by my association with Steve. And for that, I'll be forever grateful.